I am attracted to people when they listen to me.
If I like someone, it's on my face.
All girls want is for men to like just open up with them.
तो मुझे तो बोला था बोलने के लिए, अब तो मैंने बोला तो अब वो ज़्यादा हो गया.
So tell me a little bit about one date that has become a memory in your mind.
Sometimes you go out with someone not realizing it's a date. What a fish, man. As you say.
You've intentionally ruined a date?
Yeah.
Why?
Body odor.
Oh no.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of 3am Confessions. The topic of today's episode is the anatomy of a first date or dates in general. We are so thrilled to have a wonderful cast here today joining us.
Yay.
Welcome Anahita, welcome Shubhankar.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for joining us. What's the most unexpected location or activity you've ended up on a date?
There's this guy who took this person upon his dad advising him to take her horse riding.
Yeah.
So I did that once. I was like, let's find a
really?
stable, let's take this person
That's
horse
funny.
riding. Yeah.
How did it go?
All right. No, I thought I would get more props for it, but I didn't.
There's just like more manure involved than you'd expect, like for a first date.
It's too organic.
I went for a Bharatnatyam recital once with somebody.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's nice.
But
So
it
cultured
wasn't-
of you.
But that was strange because there was a lot of attraction, but then we were also watching someone dance on stage.
Kind of
That was
cool though. Don't
Yeah.
you think it would like, it's like a very cultural moment.
Things
It
like
was.
that, mislead you. Somebody takes you.
Why?
Because if they're not that actually cultural in their daily
Right.
life. First date was a Bharatanatyam recital. We've never done anything cultural since.
Choice of date, especially in the beginning, says a lot about who you are, right?
Yes.
Like, let's go on a hike versus let's go to like a fine dining restaurant. Like,
I
it's all
understood that
very
after
different.
that horse table date. I was like, you know
Yeah.
what? Stick to food. You like food. So you can talk about food. There's no way you can talk about horse riding for hours and hours and hours.
But what do you think about like doing an activity together on your first date? Like something collaborative, especially something tangible, like something very hands-on. Do you think that that lends to a unique sense of bonding because you guys are like working on a project together?
Absolutely. It's fun. You don't unnecessarily eat a meal.
Right. Like
waste
everything's
calories.
food-centric.
Which is why I try to just meet people in places outside of restaurants.
Right.
I also went for a pottery class with someone once. That was
Fun.
nice. That was a lot of fun.
That is trending.
Yeah.
And I think you remember, like you do create a bond and you have an experience, and even if the date doesn't go well, at least you had fun.
Right. You have a little
Yeah.
mug that you got out of
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
So tell me a little bit about one date that has become a memory in your mind.
Sometimes you go out with someone not realizing it's a date. He happened to be someone I knew of from elsewhere. And one day he just asked me if I want to grab a cup of coffee with him. And I said, yeah, okay. And he picked me up. We had coffee. We were leaving. And just when I was about to sit in my car, he ran to my door and he opened the door. And I said, why are you doing this? He's like, because we're on a date. I want to make you feel special. And I said, this was a date.
You need to manage your own expectation when you're going on a date. You can't be expecting too much or too little. It's very important to be in a good mood. I've actually cancelled dates if I've had a bad work day.
Oh, really?
Because I feel like I can't rely on a stranger to improve my day.
I think I'm definitely the more fun person. I can talk to anyone and have fun.
Right.
I am the fun.
You bring it wherever you go.
I recently realized I'm the fun.
Yeah. You're having fun on every date because you just love meeting new people, right? And that's just your nature and your personality. So how do you evaluate whether this person can match your energy and like reciprocate and add as much value to your life as you would to theirs?
I think it takes some time to get to know someone. I like to see how this person's interacting with other people. If this person gets a call from their parent, how they interact with their parents, how strong their relationships are with their friends, just the kind of relationships they've cultivated in their lives, with the kind of tenderness that they treat me, the way they talk to me. Are they considerate? Do they ask up about how my day was? Are they constantly just interested in sharing their life with me? They're not asking me any questions about my life. So I think it has to be very equal and very balanced.
If I'm sharing, do they have a counter story immediately? Because they also want to share, they're excited. I am attracted to people when they listen to me, when they register what I say, when they absorb what I say. So I think it's very important to be a good listener. I think as well as a good sharer. I don't think you can overshare. I think I was very cognizant of that before meeting my girlfriend, because the first time I met her, I shared everything.
Oh, really? Do you think there's a limit though? Like, do you think there's a line?
Oh, there should be. But in my case, it worked. It might not work for everybody.
I've been very straightforward. If I like someone, it's on my face. I can't hide it.
Really?
It's just like I'll be giggling,
Aww.
I'll be sitting and like smiling. My body language will change. I'll become very girly. But I wonder how important it is to hold back a little bit, because most times when people find out that you like them, they lose interest. They start taking your fondness for them for granted. So I think the mystery thing is something that I'm still trying to understand. But even if I don't like him that much, if someone comes to me and very clearly communicates, I like you, I want to be with you in every way, let's give this a shot, I think it would be really... I would give it a shot.
Because it's so rare. That's what I'm saying.
so
People
rare.
don't come and share their feelings, you know. They'll be passive about it.
Speaking like as a woman, there's nothing more attractive than a man who is in touch with his emotions, who is vulnerable, who is not afraid to express his intentions and like what he's feeling, the good and the bad. There's like this crazy disconnect where guys think it's like really suave and cool, whereas I think all girls want is for men to like just open up with them, because that's incredibly attractive, and it demonstrates a level of maturity and emotional intelligence that's gonna like serve the relationship down the line.
I do agree. I think it's very important for me to be with someone who opens up to me, but then there has to be a limit. I don't want to be in another place in life where I become this person's only emotional crutch. There needs to be an entire ecosystem of people around you, because I have that. I don't completely rely on my girlfriend or my mom to be there for me emotionally. I think each relationship in your life needs to be balanced in that way. I have been in a relationship where I became that person's only emotional outlet, and that's a lot of pressure.
I think that is the dilemma a lot of men are
that's the
stuck in.
confusion. Like, what's the balance?
Because a lot of men would imagine what you consider maybe over is that अरे मैंने तो मुझे तो बोला था बोलने के लिए, अब तो मैंने बोला तो अब वो
ज़्यादा हो गया.
Yeah. So since we've been holding back for so many, if there's a door against which there's a lot of things being pushed back, if you suddenly open it, there's going to be a uncontrollable flow of emotions.
On a first date, there's also danger that when both people overshare too much, especially too early on, that you create almost like a trauma bond or an attachment that formed out of a shared vulnerability that is not necessarily practical, or like that has not been thought through.
For me, if I'm falling for someone very quickly,
It's a red flag.
Red flag. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because normally whenever we talk to guys like are usually quicker than girls are when forming feelings. Like, this is my observation, that men know right away. Like, we've talked to so many men, like married couples, and they're like, I knew them after 15 minutes of talking to her, this is my wife, or like after 30 minutes.
From what I've heard from my friends, usually who are married or who are in long-term relationships, they've had to like really take their time. And I am the same way. I don't fall for somebody immediately. Yes, I can, in the past, I've seen somebody and be like, oh my God, that person's gorgeous. Physical attraction, sure, which is normal. Am I attracted to them emotionally, immediately? There's no way like that can happen.
But yeah, I think attraction and practicality can be two different things sometimes, right? So
100%.
I think attraction is a very amorphous thing, and sometimes attraction is not always in a healthy direction. So I think there needs to be a healthy balance of like heart and mind, to where yes, I'm feeling emotions, but does this also make sense? Like, could this person also kick it with my dad, and will be able to hang out with my cousins like down the line? Like, these are the things I think about. I try to, before I start getting attached, and then like, oh shit, I'm in love with this person who would never work in my family.
Yep.
I think it's the opposite with me. I've had moments where I've really gotten attached to someone, but ab kya karu? Now what do I do? He's not getting along with my family, not getting along with my cousins. Now what do I do? I'm stuck.
But that's a big litmus test. I know friends who've married their significant others and they didn't get along with their friends for a long time. They did eventually.
Eventually people fall in line.
Yeah,
but it would be nice for things to happen seamlessly.
But somebody to date for 6-7 years and they don't get along with your friends, I wouldn't be able to do that.
Because also, doesn't that show a difference in values, right? Like, if all your friends, presumably you're very similar to your friends, right?
So, but they made it work. So it's like,
God
props
bless.
to them.
God bless.
Very clear about what they want.
Takes commitment, takes strength. Has there ever been a date where you fully ruined the date and it wasn't the other person's fault?
I've intentionally done it.
You've intentionally ruined a date?
Yeah.
Why?
Body odor.
Oh no.
So I didn't ruin the mood.
Correct.
I just was like,
You had to bail.
yeah, I have things to do, have to leave.
Oh my
Kind
God.
of, it's a deal breaker for me.
Have you ever had to bail out on a date?
All the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have 2-3 people in my life. I just send them, we have a code word. And the second I send them that code word, they call me and come up with an excuse.
What's the code word?
Fish? Oh no, now everyone knows.
Yeah,
But I mean, you're not going to
Change the
text.
code word, yeah,
I mean, you're not going to text anyone else.
Easy to type.
Right,
Fish
right.
in
Jaldi.
capitals. And then what the fish, man? And we just say, oh, the fish is really good.
What has to happen for you to get to that point where you have to bounce?
I get the ick really quickly.
Okay.
Yeah. Just if someone's being a little too pushy, if there's drinks involved and I'm feeling uncomfortable, I don't want to be rude and say something. I don't want to trigger another person by being rude to them. So I just very politely just exit that situation.
I've never had to be rude to somebody. People have always understood. I'm like, hey, I have to leave. I have an emergency. They've always been like, oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
I've not had to be in a situation where I needed to like make an excuse to get out of things, because I would rather not give them false hope that, oh, okay, maybe it was a genuine emergency and I'm going to see her again. Like, I just want them to know that like, I'm not interested.
No, that's a better way to do it, honestly.
Thank you so much for watching another episode of 3am Confessions. Thank you to our lovely panel of
Thank you for having us.
It was
Really
such a
had fun.
pleasure.
Yes.
I learned a lot. If you enjoyed this episode, do be sure to hit subscribe, share it with your friends, and let us know in the comments what other topics we should cover next time. Bye.